Welcome back to the Danette May Show. This episode is part 2 of the masterclass I began sharing in the last episode. If you haven't listened to part 1 yet, I highly recommend starting there. It lays the foundation for what we're diving into today. Let's continue with this powerful conversation. Welcome to the Danette May Show, where you'll receive profound breakthroughs, courage to break old patterns, and live into your soul's purpose. Each week, I will bring you epic guests and live coaching to remind you of your power. You have the ability to achieve extraordinary things, and the time to start is now. If you're looking for really high-level coaching on how to really maximize life, how to live a successful life, to accumulate more wealth, to have a better communication, better relationship with their significant others, and to navigate life in a more peaceful, rounded way, then this is the place to go. You can go to danettecoaching.com or click the link below. Don't hesitate. Let's have you join us. We will welcome you with open arms, and you will start to see results in as little as 30 days. Sending you all my love. How many of you have said to yourself, I'm not going to eat, let's just use this for example, I'm not going to eat pizza. I'm not eating pizza. This is my kryptonite. I'm not eating any more pizza. Some of you might have said candy or chocolate. So when you say, I am not going to eat this pizza, I am not going to have this chocolate anymore. I'm done with this. It's over. I'm moving it out of the house. This is going to leave my diet. What happens? You get placed in front with some pizza or some candy or some chocolate, and you end up maybe not resisting it at first, feeling the urge to resist it, but then you have one bite and then you eat a lot in private, sometimes outwardly. So I'm going to do an experiment with you right now. I'm going to tell you something and I need you to listen really carefully. Do not, just follow my cues right now. Do not, I repeat, do not, whatever I tell you, do not do this. Do not think about cheese pizza, that type of pizza that you pull off the tray and the cheese is just oohing and gooing off of it. Do not think about that. Do not smell it. Do not feel a desire to eat it. How many of you thought about cheese pizza and you saw the cheese oozing? Why is this working? This is science. The brain actually doesn't articulate don't. I don't want, do not, doesn't articulate that. It will only go to what you're describing. So therefore, the desire is heightened. So this is where people are getting their goals, their aspirations all misconstrued. Yeah. Because as soon as you describe it or see it, then you've focused on it. As soon as the media wants to tell you to not think about this or not worry about this, but you're going to start worrying about it because you just saw it on media. Be very careful what you consume, the TV you're watching. It is all shaping you. The people you're hanging out with, the conversations they're having, it's all shaping you. Look around and think about who are the friends I'm keeping? What are the conversations they're having? And I guarantee that you are the sum of those 5 people you're hanging out with the most. Yeah. So you got to be willing to go, whoa, I am creating this because I'm choosing to watch this. I'm choosing to say, I don't want this, and I don't want this, but you're just going to get more of it. Or I want this, you're just going to get more wanting. Okay? We're going to get into how we can make this really applicable. So a lot of us get into this craving response. And when I say cravings, it's, I have a goal, but all of a sudden around 3 o'clock, I just want something that I know isn't really adding to my goal, but it's like, it's in me. And a lot of us feel these feelings of cravings. It's not sometimes overwhelming, but it's definitely a desire. And a lot of times we're humans, we're in this society where we get what we want. We will get what we want. We will hunt it down and we will make sure we get it. That's a craving, right? So why do we have this experience of cravings? Is because there's a bond. There's a connection between the emotion and the craving. And what we got to do is we got to break that bond. We got to break that bond of that emotion and that craving. How do you do this? We're going to do this together, okay? We're going to break the bond together. And it's through tapping. How many of you have heard of tapping? But even if you've heard of it, how many of you practice it regularly? Because you can use this within the realms of weight loss or weight release or increased health in your body, whether you're going to go speak on a stage and you're super nervous, or whether you're going to get on a flight and you're afraid of flying. Or for me, I would use this because I had a really hard time leaving my children. I chose obviously a career that requires me to travel around the world. And in the early days when my kids were younger, I would get extreme anxiety the night before about leaving them. No one could parent as well as me in my mind, and I didn't want them to ever feel any form of neglect. It was so strong that it would be debilitating for me. And I would use this tapping to break the bond of the emotion and the feeling, right? So you're going to break this bond of this emotion of craving and this motion that I've got to have what I crave. So we're going to do this together. Okay. I'm going to show you the different spots on the body. And we're going to do it together because I'm going to let you feel this. So before I do, I'm going to ask you to think about your favorite food right now, or like your greatest thing that you know is not actually impacting you in a positive way. So maybe it's this really spicy, yummy chips and fish and chips that are like breaded, and maybe it's pizza like we talked about. I want you to really feel that. Like some of you are like, it's lunchtime and I'm getting so hungry. I'm starting to want it. Or maybe it's like your favorite dessert. Like just really go there and feel like that ooey gooey cinnamon roll that's just the perfect temperature of heat and it's like the icing's coming down. What is your thing? Maybe it's Diet Coke, maybe it's coffee. Find your thing and just imagine it. I want you to rate that, put it in your own mind. Maybe it's a 10. Really feel that thing, because when you're in that craving response, it's pretty typically high. It's anywhere from a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10. And it's because you're actually allowing yourself to go, I really want that. Like some people go through drive-throughs, some people hunt down their certain foods, some people go buy a bag of chips and eat them because they love that crunchy, salty, all that flavor coming in, right? Some of you are like now feeling it. For those of you who deal with craving, this is going to be easier for you. Okay. Some of you have cravings in other areas, right? Some of you have a craving to argue with people. Some of you have a craving, and honestly, it's called a craving because you're drawn to it. You have this craving to be hard on yourself, to be your worst critic. And you're in this constant perpetual. So you can use this tactic. But you're going to do this with me. Now, take your number down. Everybody take your number down. You're going to hit the side of your hand. And you don't have to say anything out loud unless you want to repeat what I have to say, but you're going to copy me. So you're going to hit the top side of your hand. You're going to hit right here by your eye. So go ahead and just do it with me. We're going to go at the side of your eye by your temple, under your eye, just tapping it, under your nose, on your chin, right below that collarbone, and then under your arm and that side area, and then top of your head. So you're going to follow me. We're going to do this together. I'm going to show you how this works right now. Okay. Start tapping the side of your hand and repeat, I have a craving. And you can just say this in your mind, or you can say this out loud while you're tapping and following me. I have this craving. I really want to eat this food. I feel it in my body. Now tap in between your eyes above your nose bridge and say, I recognize I have this craving. I really want to eat this food, and I love myself, even if I want to eat this food. Tap the side of your eye by your temple and say, I feel a big desire to eat this food, and I love myself in my desire. Now tap under your eye and say, I feel like I'm losing control, and I love myself in losing control. Now tap under your nose and say, I am feeling nervous, like I'm going to go eat everything. I'm feeling worthless, and I love myself in all of these feelings. Tap your chin and say, I have cravings, and I love myself in cravings. Tap under your collarbone and say, I am going to choose a new thought. Tap below your armpit and say, I choose, despite my cravings. Tap your head and say, to love myself fully. Start tapping the side of your hand and repeat, I am free. I am choosing to be free. Now tap in between your eyes above your nose bridge and say, I am choosing to focus on loving myself. Tap the side of your eye by your temple and say, in this moment, I am filling myself up. Now tap under your eye and say, I am loved. Now tap under your nose and say, I am connected to infinite possibilities. Tap your chin and say, I am not my cravings. Tap under your collarbone and say, I love myself in all of it. Tap below your armpit and say, and if I want to eat it, I'm okay. And I can eat it in joy. Tap your head and say, I am not my cravings. Start tapping the side of your hand and repeat, I love myself. Now tap in between your eyes above your nose bridge and say, I love myself completely. Tap the side of your eye by your temple and say, Man, I love myself. Wow, I feel free. Now tap under your eye and say, I am connected to infinite possibilities. Now tap under your nose and say, I am choosing love. Tap your chin and say, I am choosing wellness. Tap under your collarbone and say, I am enough. Tap below your armpit and say, I am enough. Tap your head and say, I am enough. Where are you at right now? Did that number change? Some of you deal with anxiety and you weren't maybe thinking about food. Some of you were writing and going, food things. You should have taken anything you want. You can do this type of thing on anything you want. You can say any word you want. It's just acknowledging the feeling you have and then working through and saying, I love myself in this feeling. And I'm going to choose a new feeling because you're always able to choose a new feeling. That is our autonomy. That is our strength. So you get to choose that. So when you break this bond of emotion, which is whether it's anxiety or whether it's this feeling of inadequacy or you want more confidence, you can do this type of tapping to gain more confidence, to reduce anxiety, to help with depression. Amazing, right? Proud of you. Thanks for playing full out. So I just shared 3 things with you. We're going to recap real quick. What you focus on expands. Number 2, watch your language. Seeing how the brain actually doesn't interpret certain words. You've got to be very careful with your words. What are you speaking into existence? Number 3, break the bond. And you can do it through a lot of different modalities. I gave you one of the key ones that are really simple that you just learned right now called tapping. You can use it in all areas of your life, not just with food, not just with wellness. Aches and pains in your body. I feel pain in my hip. I love myself even though I feel pain in my hip, and moving it through all the way until you're like, I feel great. I feel ease in my body, and watch as miracles come, because here is your strongest ally or your greatest weakness. But I want to share a little bonus, and that is the power of forgiveness can help you release weight, feel healthier, and get less sicknesses in your body. And there's a reason to it, because when we're in this feeling of anger or non-forgiveness towards someone else, and I'm not asking you to forgive for the sake of the other person, I'm asking you to forgive for the sake of yourself. Some of you have been through some really tough times, but when you're in non-forgiveness, you put this imaginary barrier of protection around you. I am never allowing this to happen to me again. I am not forgiving this. This makes me so angry. And it creates this barrier. And then what happens is that mind has created this barrier of protection. And then it starts to do it on the physical form. You start adding layers of protective fat around your organs, because where the mind goes, the body follows. So this protection of fat starts to get built. A lot of you have been hurt. You've been hurt by friends, lovers, life. Can you let it go? Can you forgive? Can you trust that you get to let it go? And that's going to help with this feeling of health, because you're not going to have this toxic layer of body fat that is imaginary. It's not protecting you. The only thing that really can protect you is your thoughts. We talked a lot about how your health and wellness can be totally shifted through breaking the bond of cravings, how you can change your thoughts, how you can change your words, how you can change your emotions to change this relationship with your health and your wellness and your body. Now I want to give you 2 practical steps that are just really simple that may be something that really helps you. These are very practical, okay? The first one is, if some of you have these cravings and you tend to just find yourself going and reaching for things, or you're on this habit of just, I'm so busy, I'm grabbing things. Let's have this thing that where you don't eat anything unless you eat it with a fork and a knife. This will mitigate a lot, because as you can see, eating a chip with a fork and a knife is like so ridiculous, right? But if you just play a game and be like, you know what? I can have as much food as I want. I'm not going to be shameful about it, but I'm also going to choose foods that I have to eat with a fork and a knife versus just really quick. If that's your pattern, that's one quick tip. And then to remember the small micro goals over the big goals. So oftentimes people start to have this big goal. I'm going to release 20 pounds, or I'm going to be the healthiest I was this year. And where those are admirable, it's the micro goals we're finding scientifically that will actually get you to your big goal. Let me give you an example of a couple micro goals. One might be, you know what? I don't know if I'm going to work out tomorrow, but I'm going to lay out my workout clothes
on my bed or right by my feet. As soon as I get up, I put them on. That's your first micro goal. Your second micro goal might just be that, you know what? I might not drive to the gym or I might not go somewhere to do my workout. Some of you might just turn on music if you're doing workouts in your own home. Some of you choose to go to a gym. It's up to you. That second micro goal might be that I'm just going to play the music or I'm just going to get in my car. And what happens is when you start to get into these micro goals and you only focus on them, it might be, you know what? I don't feel like working out, but I'm going to work out for 2 minutes. 2 minutes. I can do 2 minutes. And most of the time, if you just say that, you'll go longer. If you just get in the car, you're going to go there. If you just put the clothes out and you put them on, you'll end up working out, especially if they're like spinning shoes, clapping around in your spinning shoes. Another micro goal might be I'm just going to eat foods with a fork and a knife. So you lay those chips down on a plate, you start to go, oh, this is ridiculous. I'm not going to eat these because this is not, I can't even get the chip in my mouth. But those are micro goals. And these micro goals can really help you when it comes to wellness.
That brings us to the end of part 2 of this powerful masterclass. I hope it offered you new clarity, inspiration, and tools you can use right away. If this resonated with you, I'd love for you to share it with someone who could benefit from it too. Until next time, keep tuning in, stay open, and keep showing up for yourself.